Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Bella Caramel here with a tutorial on how to create your own clip-in extensions. Okay, so basically when I went shopping around for clip-ins, I found that they were very expensive for the amount of hair you were getting and for the size of the clip-ins, especially considering everyone's head size and circumference is a little different. So, you know, when they come in their little bundles of 7 or 8 clips of hair, a lot of times they're not the appropriate size for your own head. So it's better to just try to make your own. Even if you've never done it before, it's a really simple process that you can try to do it yourself to save a lot of money and also to create the length that you want for your own hair. I found that going to my local beauty supply store, I was able to purchase the clips. I bought these 2 to a pack for 99 cents, and I went ahead and I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bought 7 packs, so I have 14 clips. And I also bought my weaving thread, which was 99 cents for an entire roll, which was a very good price. I also bought my trusty little C-shaped needle, so that way it can go through the wig clips easily through the holes. And I made sure that the eye of my needle was small enough to go through the hole before I even left the store, because a lot of times people find that when they buy the needle, they get home and they can't use it because it won't go through the holes of the clips. You have to make sure that it's going to fit when you stick that needle through that hole, that it's going to come out the other end. Otherwise, you've just wasted your time and you won't really get very far. So you can also use a regular straight needle as long as you have a long one, or a Keith needle, but I went ahead and just purchased that. This was 99 cents, this was 99 cents, and these were 99 cents a pack, and I bought 7 of them. I also went ahead and just bought a pack of the Remy hair, 100% human hair by a company called Vega. The color is 2 for me, and I bought 16 inches. Personally, I wanted 14 inches, but it was actually a better deal to just buy the long one, and I actually can go ahead and just cut it to the length that I want it at. So that's my plan. I caught a really, really good sale actually, so I was able to get, I got a really, really good sale, so I was actually able to buy 1 and 2. It was basically buy one, get one free, and I paid $49.95 for 2 packs of hair. So I mean, that is an amazing deal. And they are both 16 inches, they're both color 2, and I'm super excited to go ahead and create these clip-ins. I generally don't wear hair this long, but again, it was a better deal to buy the long one, and I can just cut it to the desired length that I want, versus buying the clip-ins. They're already pre-lengthed, they're already pre-cut, they're already clipped on, which is convenient, but you're not getting what you want as far as how much hair you're unable to control how much hair you actually get. So this was a better deal for me. I'm probably not going to need that second pack because my hair is very thick. I just want to add length to it. So having clip-ins, you can just clip it in between your own hair and you'll still get that same fullness, but you won't have to worry about the length because it'll be there with this. So the first things first, I'm going to move everything out of the way, clear a nice workspace for myself. Go ahead, get this hair opened up. Very pretty. Of course, I was concerned with buying hair that was a little too silky and too satiny, so I'm really focused on getting hair that matches my texture better. This is pretty close. I mean, if you're relaxed or you just have naturally straight hair, then this would work out very well. It doesn't have too much of a sheen on it, which obviously makes it look artificial when you're wearing it, and that's what you don't want. But so I'm very happy with the texture of this hair so far. Actually smells pretty good. It doesn't have a bad smell to it at all. It's very soft. It actually says soft texture on it, versus the shiny, lustrous texture that they have displayed in the stores as well. You can actually have your choice, but I preferred to buy it in the store this time because I knew what I was getting. It's kind of a crapshoot when you order your hair online, because you really don't know the true texture you're going to get till you get it, and by then you've already spent a lot of time, energy, and money on purchasing and trying to get everything you want. So I'm seeing
here we go.
this part of the weft, you can tell that they're actually pretty darn thin. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to double these tracks so that I have a nice full track here. I'm going to put these wefts together and I'm going to go ahead and double them so I have a nice full track. So I think it'll end up looking more like this, which is really nice because I think it would work out great as far as the hair that I'm looking to have on my head. Remember, you're not just going to put, you know, one of these in your hair. You're actually putting 5, 6, 7 of them. So when you put them all together, I wouldn't worry about seeing through them because it's going to thicken up really well when you blend it with your own hair, with the method that you're going to use with these. Since I'm only going to create one clip-in track at the moment, I'm not going to unwrap this side yet because I just don't want to have to deal with it. So what I'm going to do though is you're going to take it, you're going to pick it up, you're going to put it to the back of your head and measure from where you want to start your clip-in at. You're always going to make sure to separate at least maybe ½ an inch to an inch away from the edge of the back of your hair. That way you have some coverage if you decide you want to put the hair up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take one single track, I'm going to place it on the back of my head, measure where I want it to start, and you're going to stay at least ½ an inch to ½ an inch away from the edges of your hair. You can stay as far away as you want if you want to go ahead and have full coverage from anybody seeing the track if you decide you want to put it up. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to measure straight across the back on the one, and then from that measurement that I just gained, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to get my second track's length, and then I ended up with that. So this is the first one I'm going to have. Your first one is going to look a little short to you, but trust me, it will fit. As you get higher on the top of your head, of course, the circumference of your head is going to prove that you're going to need a lot longer ones further to the top. But in the back, you don't need them that long unless you just have a larger head, which is okay. So then I'm going to measure twice, which you always want to do because once you cut, you've cut. So I'm measuring. Here's track 1. You always measure twice, cut once, especially when it comes to hair. You make too many cuts, you can't stick it back together. If you do, you can't trust it's going to stay there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut right here. Then I'm just going to move all the rest of this hair out of the way. And I'm left with my first track. This is my first track. There's a little shedding going on here, but you're going to get that when you cut your weft. So it's up to you whether you decide you want to seal them or not once you cut the end of it. Personally, I'm not going to bother to seal it because these are just going to be clip-ins. I'm not going to wear them all the time where I'm going to be brushing my hair 24/7 and worried about them falling out. Here's my first track. Like I said, I've doubled it. I'm not going to sew them together because my clips are going to hold them in place exactly the way I need them to be held. So I'm going to lay that out. I'm going to get my first pack of wig clips. Now generally on a track that is this short, you're going to go ahead and measure how long it is, and then you can decide how many clips you're going to need for each track. But on a track this short, I'm only going to use 2. Once you get further to the top of your head or the middle of your head, these tracks are going to become longer, so you're going to need to use more. Generally 3 to 4 clips on the longer tracks. The ones in the very back, generally you can get away with 2. 3 if you want, but it's not exactly necessary. And once you get to the top and you only need to use smaller portions of hair, then you can get away with 1 clip. So now that I've made sure my track is laid out and it's even, make sure all my hair is down and out of the way. Now this is the front of your clip. This is the back. Hold on. This is the back. This is the portion that you're going to want to lay on the hair directly, right on the weave. This part here goes in your head like a tuck comb. So make sure that this bar laying straight across goes right up. Oops. this bar right here goes right up against the track. If that is the opposite way, your clip will not open to go in your hair the right way. So this is what it ends up looking like right here. This is where you're going to tuck your hair in, and when you close it, it's going to snap, and that's how it's going to hold your hair in place in your head. Make sure it's open. That way there's no confusion. Make sure your clip is open before you sew it on so there's no confusion as to what direction it goes in. It's very easy to do, and if you get through sewing all the way and then you notice it's backward, you just wasted all your time and you're going to have to redo it again. So I'll see if I can put this in a better angle here. Now I'm going to line these up again since I just got finished fidgeting with it. I'm going to place this clip out of the way. I'm going to lay this one down. I'm going to start on the edge that is open. That way I can close it and seal it off. Here's my needle. Here's my thread. You thread it just the same as you would for a basic sewing needle and thread if you're gonna hem some clothing or something. It's all the same. So you're gonna go ahead, thread your needle. Here's the eye of your needle. You can thread it through the front, thread it through the back, doesn't really make a difference. Pull it through. And then of course make it as short or as long as you'd like. I generally tend to make mine a lot longer for the simple fact that once you cut it, you can always just tie it off again and just keep going from there. You don't have to keep rethreading. So here's mine. I'm gonna go ahead and cut now. And there we have a threaded needle. And on this end, I'm just going to tie it off. Again, just as you would if you were going to hem some clothing. Because this thread is not going to be seen, so it doesn't make a difference. Cut off my little bit of excess, which is only a tiny little bit here. Now I have my little knotted end. Here we go. Now what I like to do, let's go ahead, grip my hair. Take my needle. And I'm going to use the circles, the holes there. I'm going to use the ones on the end. That way I go from here to here and do the same thing on the other side. I don't tend to use all of these up here because it's really not that necessary, because once you have these anchored on the sides, you're going to have a really good hold. If you want to use these, you can, but you would have to use a smaller needle. Or if you want to go ahead and use this, then you would just go between the combs instead of the hole. I'll show you that in a second. Probably should not have put lotion on my hands right before I did this. It's making my hands a little bit slippery. But there we go. So I am through one. And my knot stops it from going all the way through. I just sewed all the way through one. Let's see if I can turn this so you get a better view of what I'm doing. So I brought it through one. Now I'm going to come around the bottom, come back up, and bring it through the bottom. I'm going to go through one more time, make sure they're going through both wefts. Hold on. I need to wash this lotion off my hands because I am slipping and sliding everywhere. Okay, so gone through it once. I'm going to go ahead and go through it again. Make sure it doesn't tangle onto my combs. Move my finger out of the way. Now it is on there pretty good. And I'm going to come through the bottom one more time. And there you have it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come under too much lotion on my hands. Sorry about that, guys. You see what happens if you try to come through that hole right there? A lot of times your needle does not want to fit. So what you do is you back it out. If you want to anchor that down and just come through the top middle comb. You see that? The top middle comb. Come right through here. Come right through. And now you're anchored down. And then you move to the side. You see that? And now you come to the side. And make sure that your comb is lined up with your weft, because it does like to slip away. Come through both wefts and then put your hole right in the line there. Okay. Don't worry about any strays. Don't worry about any stray hairs or things like that, because again, you're able to neaten this up and straighten it out after you finished all your sewing. So now that I brought that through here, I'm going to go down through there, through the bottom, and there you have it. On this one, on this end, I'm going to also go through the gold hole in the middle, just to make sure it's snug and secure. Will it go through that one? No, it won't go through that one. Okay. Then I'm going to come back around and go back through that first hole that I went through. So I'm going to take this, go right back through that weft again, right where I was. and cut right through there, and then slide that needle right back through that hole again and tighten that bad boy down. And now you have a clip that is not going anywhere. I'm going to bring it right back through the bottom again. I'm going to check the secureness of that. It's not going anywhere. It's on there pretty firm. It's not moving. Can close it. Can open it. It's secure. I'm going to tie it down. Easiest thing to do is put your hand on the knot. Put your hand on the knot. And slide it down. Do it one more time. Slide it down. Okay? And there you have your first clip. And they're sewed on. Now I just tied off my thread on my needle so I can cut it right there, and then I can just use it to start on my next one. And there's my clip. Opens, it closes, and it's not going anywhere. It is firm, it is secure, and it is on there. See that? If you have any loose little threads like this, you can go ahead and cut them off when you're finished, but it really doesn't make a difference because it's going to be blended in with your own hair. So that's the reason why you go ahead and you make sure to buy the thread that matches the hair that you're going to use, or the hair on your head, or whichever way. See, there you go. I'm going to put one more on. Here's my next clip. Again, make sure that the bar is on the hair. Line the hair up. And this is how your hair is going to be. Now I'll go ahead and I'll talk about that gap in the middle in a minute. On this side, I'm going to start inside first, for the simple fact that I want to pull this gap that's in the middle of the hair straight. Now you can go ahead and sew this all together if you want ahead of time, but I don't tend to do that because it's just a little extra work that may not be necessary depending on how far apart the hair is and how long your track is going to be. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and sew this clip on, and then with this gap, I'm just going to put a little thread right there in the middle. It'll hold it together. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Go through both wefts. Make sure it doesn't go through your comb, because it tends to want to do that. I'm in there. I'm going to come through the bottom, or I can go through the top. It doesn't make a difference. I'll go through the top this time. And I'll come out that side. I'll come through the bottom. But when you do that, make sure the hair is coming off the top. Okay, so line that back up, pull that through, and you're in there. Came through. See that? Going to go through one more time on this side. To anchor that down pretty well. Come out the bottom here. And anchor that in there. Then go through your comb like you did on the other side. Turn it sideways so it fits through the comb, and you're anchored in the middle. Then you go through your weft. Doesn't matter if your comb's not lined up just yet. You're going to just get through the weft first, because that's what you want to make sure to go through, is both wefts. You don't want it too low, because then you're not anchoring it to the weft, you're just sewing it to the hair. Now you're going to go ahead and find your hole. There's the hole. I'm going to pull it through. You're going to go through the bottom. And then you're going to come back through the top again. Pull. Then stitch. Make sure you have no lotion on your hands when you're doing this, because then you're going to be slipping and sliding just like I am right now. Pull it through. Go through down here one more time. Make sure you're secure. And tie it off. I'm going to go ahead and cut my thread. Release my needle. And just tie off my little knot. I'm going to do that one more time. And now, here are my clip-ins. Again, any excess thread like this, you can just cut it off when you're done. Now, if you don't want this here to happen, all you need to do, so now, for this here, you don't want it loose. Just take the middle, take your thread and your needle, make sure it's pulled taut and lined up. And then you're going to go ahead, line it up, go through your weft and the other weft evenly. And that's it. You see that? And now you don't have any issue with separation. Now you're secure. Now you have made your own clip-ins. Okay guys, so I have my finished product, my clip-in here. I'm going to lay that down. Just finger part my hair. Let's make sure I'm in the shot here. Okay, finger part my hair. Not even gonna really pull a whole lot out. I'm just gonna pull a little bit out. That's probably a little too much. Hold on. My hair's not flat ironed or anything, so it's probably not gonna blend well right now. I just have it just blow dried. I'm gonna pin it up. Now you see I just have a small amount back here. It's probably a lot still. I'll probably leave less out than that when I first do this, but just a quick show. So here is the back of my head. Here is my clip-in. Just going to flip over, make sure it's open. Okay, so now they're both open. I'm just going to clip one end into this side of my hair. And now it's closed. Clip the other side in. Now it's closed. And now I have in my clip-in. So basically, I'm probably going to place this one a little higher because I think it's a little long for here. When I initially measured, I measured it actually a little higher. So, but you get the idea. The clip is sewn in. It's secure to the weft, and now I have clip-ins. And I don't think it looks too bad. Of course, once I flat iron my hair and blend it better, I think it will look pretty nice. So here's the end result of just one clip-in. Once I get the rest of them in, I'll have a full head of clip-ins and my hair will be styled accordingly. Okay, so that's how you do your clip-ins, ladies. I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching. Bye.